Draco needs a new apple. A fanfiction by doclockfangrillswatson. doclockfangrillswatson?
Yeah, it seems more like it.
Yeah, sure.
Or doclockfangrillswatson? That's another one.
What?
It's fan grills, please.
Oh, yeah. Grills Watson. Cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grills Watson.
A terrible Drapple one-shot that is written worse than 50 Shades of Grey. Pure smut.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I mean it, Draco. Not a single word about that apple again.
Lucius Malfoy turned on his heel and strode out of the room, muttering under his breath.
Why with the murmuring? We can never go fanfic without murmuring.
Every time, dude, yeah.
Every time.
His son, however, was left standing in the middle of his room with the urge to do nothing but to cry. Sad, dude.
I'm really sad, Dad.
His beloved apple had been taken by his father and cut into several pieces.
Oh my
No.
god.
Fucking murder, dude.
So brutal.
It's eulogy.
Wait, that's a
Yeah,
sentence?
that's you. That's your
What the
thoughts.
fuck? Okay. There are more apples in the orchard. He tried to tell himself, but
No, that's
not
happy.
me. That's not me.
That's happy. Are you trying to steal Happy's job?
Yeah. Well, you
They-
told. Oh my god.
No, the
stop.
first part
Just
is
the
your
beginning.
thing.
No, that's.
Yeah, it is. There are more
Okay,
apples in the
whatever.
orchard.
There are more apples in the orchard. He tried to tell himself. God damn it! There's no.
again. Oh my
It needs to be a fucking.
I can't. What is happening?
Why is
It's
there
already
no
been
comma?
one fucking
There's
hour,
not a
guys.
voice.
It
There's
has
not in
been
the
1
monologue.
hour.
There are more apples in the orchard.
He tried to tell himself.
Stop. I can't fucking do this shit anymore. Oh my god.
But none could compare to his apple. She knew what Draco liked, what he needed. It's a she, by the way.
Why is that a she?
Okay, the apple is a she.
I'm 17. I need to get out of this family manor so I can have a personal life without my father interfering.
There was a solution, Draco knew. But he couldn't even bring himself to think it. But there was no other way.
How would he know it if he wouldn't think it?
Because he's the narrator, he knows everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Almighty me. Hello.
Oh, whatever.
The great lion.
Mufasa.
Ah.
That was Rafiki, that was not Mufasa. At midnight that night, Draco packed some spare ropes in his bag and crept out of Malfoy Manor. He left the grounds as fast as he could and disappeared into the night. Sitting on the rickety four-poster with his head in his hands, Draco contemplated all of the decisions he had. Fuck!
English is
should
hard,
drink.
mate.
Yeah, it is. He had made in the past 24 hours. He had left his home, which he knew he would never be able to return to again.
Why?
I don't know why. dude.
What happened? He just
Jesus
left
Christ.
home. What the?
He left it for apple, dude.
Yeah, it's a good apple.
He had bought another enchanted apple at Diagon Alley. And he had checked into the leaky cauldron, where he now sat facing his new apple.
So, it is an enchanted apple, so
Yeah, it's
everything...
an Apple computer, right?
I need to be more drunk for this shit.
What can you offer me?
Draco asked. The vibrant green flesh of the apple shined under the light of the crescent moon.
So, it is a real apple. What the fuck?
I don't know, dude.
Now, okay, yeah, now it gotta be
This
an
is
apple.
weird. He's probably sitting in front of a new apple with an apple. So now
Everything is an apple.
Draco yearned for a bite, but knew better than to be hasty with a new apple.
Whatever you need, Draco.
She replied almost robotically. Oh wait, can you do a robot voice?
Whatever you need, Draco.
That was beautiful.
That's the worst one. Yeah. Yes.
Whatever
Yeah.
you need, Draco.
Harder. Better.
Yes.
Smoother.
Yes.
I love how determined you guys are to this. I love it.
Yeah.
This would be a problem. Draco needed an apple with feeling, or else he would never be satisfied. There was only one way to bring out the desperate side in such a delicate creature. The apple was lifted up off of the ground, and Draco held it up close to his face. He ran his eyes over the exterior of his new toy and then opened his mouth. His ivory-colored teeth clamped lightly around the green and left 2 straight marks. The pure soft insides were left slightly exposed, and he lowered his skull back to the floor. Apple shivered in anticipation. Shiver, shiver.
Shiver, shiver. Oh, Draco. Give me more.
She whispered.
Yes.
Are you sure you want more?
He asked gruffly.
Please!
You really let us sit on this one.
Yeah, the pause was the best part of that.
She moaned.
This is more like it.
Draco thought greedily. He picked Apple up roughly and placed his teeth into the ready-made marks. He completed his bite slowly, teasing Apple for as long as he could make it last.
Oh, fuck. Eat me.
She whined like a puppy and waited for Draco to finish chewing.
It's like as close to a puppy that I can imagine. What does a puppy do? Oh my god, stop it! This is the voices from hell.
She couldn't bear it any longer. She needed pain to be her pleasure.
Okay, so she's BDSM. That explains a lot.
BDSM Apple.
Fucking bite me, you big boy.
Oh my god, yes.
And only Draco could give it to her here and now.
Please!
What the fuck? We waited for this, god damn it.
Oh my god, I was just hoping for the same thing again. Reruns, man.
I'm sorry.
She cried, not even stopping to think of the other wizards and witches staying at the inn. Draco rushed to retrieve his knife from the bedside table, and he poked at the opening in Apple's flesh.
What?
It was pure white, like freshly fallen snow. It was soft and cold, slightly sticky from her love juice.
Oh no!
Oh my god, I don't wanna bite this apple anymore. It feels weird.
Bite it.
The love juice.
Bite the love juice. He plunged the knife into Apple, right up to the hilt.
Ouch.
He heard her breath catch, and he chuckled softly.
That's right.
Draco muttered, his breath leaving steam on the green skin near Apple's stem. He turned the knife and pulled it out slowly. Pieces of her core, stuck to the blade, were carelessly discarded onto the floor. These actions were repeated until there was a hole all the way through, large enough to fit Draco's hard length.
Hard lens. Oh, again, this dude is a poet. The way with words, mate.
It's written to be like 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Oh.
So this, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I never read 50 Shades of Grey. Why?
Not me either. Ready?
He asked, breathless with excitement.
I think though. I think so.
Apple whimpered pitifully, unsure if this was really what she wanted to do. She knew Draco would take care of her in every way. Draco pulled his ropes over his head and tossed them over to the foot of the four-poster. He tore his shirt apart, fiercely spraying buttons across the hard wood floor.
He really likes apples.
Just like his wood. It's hard.
Oh,
yes.
Oh.
His erection was straining against his pants. It popped out eagerly as soon as they were removed. Apple gasped.
Oh.
Nandato. Apple this.
Appelshan.
How could she be expected to take something of that size?
You're so big, Draco.
Holding his lover so hard, he knew he must be drawing juice from the soft fruit.
Fucking hell.
Draco shoved himself into her hole. Wait,
Fuck. Oh
what?
my.
That sounds like he crawled into that hole.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
shoved himself
Well,
into
he
her
shoved
hole,
himself,
dude.
Like his he shoved
Dick.
himself.
It was a tight fit, but it was just what the young Malfoy had been yearning for. He pulled Apple all the way up his shaft and pulled her off roughly. He fit her onto him again and pumped for all he was worth. Up and down, faster and faster. Apple tightened her grip on Draco's leg, and her choices looped him up for the final strokes when he was finally complete. Draco let out a yell as he released himself.
What was this? Was it Tarzan? Was it like...
As he released himself all over his green girlfriend, it dripped into her knife wound and she soaked it up gleefully. Draco collapsed on the bed and put a spell on Apple. She would be good as new by the morning.
Thank you for a wonderful night, Draco.
She sighed as he held her in his cupped hands and lied down on the mattress. He barely had enough energy to pull a blanket over himself before he fell into a deep sleep. The last words that escaped his lips were,
My apple.
oh my god.
Help.
Okay.
Help. I feel that. Why am I always the bottom in all of these stories?
Even if you're an apple, you're still the bottom bit. You can't escape.
Even being an apple, I'm still the bottom.
That was Drapple. Okay. I hear you munching.
Why are you munching? I'm so hungry. Jesus Christ.
Stop.
Munch, munch, munch.
Leg off.
Stop.
You just leave? Are you back?
I think you did.
You just fucking
Such a
utter?